You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously and conscientiously to the joy of living with your humble host, Barry Shore. Notice I didn't say the joy of living. It's the joy of living, and you're going to experience someone today that is going to really shake your world and enable you to fly higher than you ever thought possible. Wait till you meet Mr. Awesome in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, we want to urge everybody to continue to tell your family and friends about the show. Thank God. I urge you to always share this with 5 people. You want to share with 500 or 1,000, it's up to you, but at least 5. Right now, we have over 511,000 people listening. By the time Mr. Awesome comes on, we'll have probably about 520,000 people. Keep spreading the word because we want to get up to 1 million people by the end of calendar 2025. And you come here for one reason only. It's the best reason in the world because you care the most, the entire world, about you. Y-O-U. And that's great because when you are the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. So I just want to make mention that we work here on this show, and that's why you tune in, the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1, your life has purpose. When you lead a purpose-driven life, number 2 happens. In the case, good number 2, you go MAD. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. When you lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the 3rd is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example. Right now, the show is being carried over the internet. And www, ask anybody, stands for what? What a wonderful world. And of course, a tip of the hat and a big thank you to Satchmo for enabling that song, What a Wonderful World, to go viral and touch not just tens of millions, 100 million, billions of people on the planet. When you hear the opening bars of What a Wonderful World, what do you do right away? You can't help it. You smile. Now, smile is one of the most important words you're going to internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life because smile stands for seeing miracles in life every day. That's right, seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I got to tell you a quick story. I am privileged to speak to millions of people around the world every month because of the internet. I even do a lot of in-person speaking. Recently, I spoke to a group, 1,172 people, and I'm telling the story about Barry Shore and about seeing miracles in life every day. And people raise their hands and say, hey, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours, I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. You have water, drink, you have food, you have a place to sleep, you have family, you have friends. Every single one of those is a miracle. And what's the proof? Simple proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching or listening, you didn't. Therefore, you have an obligation to live life to the full. Now, I want to tell you the story of Barry Shore. Just a couple of minutes. Imagine, if you can, I am standing up in the morning, completely healthy and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And that evening, I'm in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed from my neck down. It's called being a quadriplegic. Nothing in the body moved. And it was not from an automobile accident. It wasn't a spinal injury. It was a rare disease that took over my body and caused me to be completely paralyzed in a matter of hours. I could only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital. I was in a hospital bed in my own home for 2 years. I couldn't move. I was in a wheelchair for 4 years. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. I can't walk up a stair by myself. Can't walk up a curb by myself. I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant because of one word. One word. Smile. seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I've got to tell you a little quick story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago and says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile, S-M-I-E-L? I thought about it. Smile sounds the same. Why not? I asked, how come? She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. Under the mouth of an 8-year-old. Well, what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world that she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a wonderful acronym. It stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. You're going to be doing a lot of rethinking today with Mr. Awesome. We're going to bring on just a couple of minutes. Now, I want to warn everybody in advance. I do use a lot of 4-letter words. I even use the 4-letter FU word, and I do it for the shock value, and it's fun. Now, of course, the 4-letter words that we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, are love, life, hope, play, pray, free, gift, swim. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun, that's right. F-U, capital N, capital N. Now, some people raise their hand and say, hey, Barry Shore, fun's only spelled with 3 letters. Now, in our world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after the show, you see your family and friends. I want you to point your finger, have a twinkle in your eye, a smile on your face, and tell everybody, F-U. Remember to add right away, capital N, capital N. Now you got their attention, and now you can share with them all the wonderful, amazing insights that you're going to be hearing from Mr. Awesome. So before we bring him on, just a moment, I want everybody to understand that if you use, or when you use, the 2 most powerful words in English language 3 times a day for now and the rest of your life, you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? These 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank is a great acronym. It stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. To harmonize and nurture kindness. Kind stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. I can't think of anyone that inspires noble deeds more than the wonderful, amazing Mr. Awesome himself, Erik Swanson. Erik, please say hello to 519,821 people around the world. You're on mute.
Good morning. I'm trying to mute the other thing that I'm listening to you on. I've got you. I decided, Barry, here's what I decided to do. I decided you're so inspirational that I'm in the mountains in Utah, and I decided that I wanted to spread the joy and the fun with every bear, elk, and tiger, and lion, and oh my.
Oh my.
I was trying to turn it off on the mute thing, the mute button. I couldn't find it. So good to see you, my friend. How are you? What's happening?
Okay, this is okay. Anybody, if you're only listening, you're gonna get a lot. If you're able to watch as well as listening, your world will be just shifted. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about shifting your perspective. Now, I got to tell you, Erik, and I think you'll agree with this. I've been working with people for more than 4.5 decades. And when they come to me, even on paper, they look like they have a great life, but they drop the F in shift and the other stuff happens. So you're going to be effing careful with your Fs. You want to shift your perspective a little bit. And that's what I'm so honored and humbled that he's here today. Mr. Awesome himself. Now, by the way, Mr. Awesome, if I read to you all the things that he accomplishes, it would take the rest of the show. I'm going to give you 3 data points. Number 1, he is prolific in everything he does, in his speaking, in his authorship, and his association with some of the greatest people in the history of personal development. I want to tell you one other thing. He is not only a disciple of Brian Tracy, he has integrated Brian Tracy's teachings and he's been able to spread them around the world. And that's the genius of why he has been dubbed by others to be Mr. Awesome. So without further ado, wonderful Erik, and again, E-R-I-K, Erik, which this K stands for kindness. Please, let's just jump in and talk to us. What the heck does Mr. Awesome do, and why do you do it?
I love the question. First off, thank you so much, Barry. You're an inspiration, and you're I got to tell you a little joke. Actually, I'll share it with you as I'm thanking you. I signed one of my books. I have a bunch of books. I'm 33-time #1 best. Who's counting? Anyway, so I was signing my book for another great speaker friend of ours who came over and met me in the mountains here over the weekend, this past weekend, and I was signing it, and I'm literally going, "You are such a blessing." And I was thinking, I'm going to put in disguise. Just kidding. You are a blessing, my friend. I just want to say, honestly, man, listening to your intro, and I've known you for years now, and you and I have shared many. Well, we went to kindergarten together. Not many people know that. It was awesome, and it's really good to be here with you, and you're shining your smile, the acronym SMILE, with the world, and that's so amazing to do.
Well, that's why I am the ambassador of joy, and you are Mr. Awesome.
That's right. Where did we meet first? We met at some event, maybe in California, or maybe it was, I don't know.
We've been
so many places.
We've been star-crossed for many years.
That's right.
Why are you Mr. Awesome? What is it about Erik Swanson that literally made Brian Tracy and Les Brown say, you know something?
Yeah.
You're really awesome. Why?
You know, really great question. So here's the deal. By the way, sorry about the remote. I've got a remote office today, so like I'm trying to fix it and so forth. There's a picture of one of my dogs up there and so forth. My other dogs are over there. I have a new puppy. That's a whole nother story. That's why I look very tired today. But here's the scoop. It's really interesting what you said about them calling me Mr. Awesome and Brian Tracy going ahead and saying, oh, we need to put our stock and our investment and our time and all of our energy into this guy. Well, it didn't start that way, Barry. It definitely didn't start that way. In fact, there was, the Vegas gambling and Vegas odds. Well, there were odds on me whether I was going to do well or not do well. Okay. And then Brian, so that was within the team. Okay. And then Brian saw me and said, look, so I was supposed to, day one, which I'll tell you is January 28th. I'm sorry, January 5th, excuse me. December 28th is the first day that I met Brian Tracy in 1997, okay, in Denver. And then it was the first time I went to an event of his. I had no idea. I asked my dad, I was like, this guy named Dick Tracy wants me to work for him. He's like, you should do it. I think he's not around anymore. But anyway, I'm like, oh yeah, Brian Tracy. So anyway, so December 28th is when I said yes to this opportunity. And then January 5th, 1998, which actually is Brian's birthday. I didn't realize January 5th is Brian's birthday. I started working with him, and he told the whole team, and the team, that he has teams all over the United States and Canada and beyond. And he told the whole team, he says, look, Erik's supposed to go to training. I was supposed to fly into, I think, Solana Beach or something to do about a month's worth of training before I was shipped out to all these different cities. And Brian literally saw the enthusiasm and the awesomeness and the whatever he saw. And he said, it reminds me of that triangle diagram that we used to talk about. We used to say PK, which is product knowledge, SS, which is sales skills back then. Now it's social skills, right? All of us. And then the third one was PMA, positive mental attitude. And if you think about it, all I needed to do, I had the PMA big time, right? And I just needed to learn the product knowledge and learn a few refined sales or social skills. That's it. He's like, he can learn that later. Let's get him out there and let him rock and own his awesomeness, right? And that's what he did. So it was Brian's decision making, because it was his company, of course, huge anyway, I'm not going to tell you how big his company is. And he literally handpicked me out of 30 or 40 people that he sent throughout the nation, and said, this guy's going to be a star. But below Brian, there was that betting thing, right? The gambling, like the odds is what they call it, right? Is he going to do good? They had, what an over under is? They had an over under betting line on me for 6 months. Either I'd last 6 months or not. And the shelf life, by the way, is an 18-month period for a great sales trainer and national trainer of Brian's or anyone's. Tom Hopkins. I just talked to Tommy Hopkins 3 days ago. Great guy.
Tommy Hopkins has been on the show, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I need to put Erik on pause because Erik is a fountain. We live in a digital world, right? Everybody knows the digital world today. You're either a fountain or a drain. Erik is the ultimate fountain. So
I'm a dream.
I don't want you to be writing anything down, everybody. Please do not write. Everything is in the show notes. The reason we have this available so you can listen again.
That's right.
The second time is better than the first because you can stop it and do things. And if you really want to be successful, you listen a third time and you'll internalize it. You as leverage. So Erik is going to drop names. Brian Tracy is not just a name. He is an entire world. Tommy Hopkins is not just a name. He's an entire world. The new psychology of winning. You're right.
That is
greatly. I mean, these are people that Erik just didn't hear about. He touched, he interacted with, because, and the reason I'm so really glad that he's here today and sharing, and you feel the awesomeness. I mean, literally, you feel it. That's the power of the individual when it's channeled for goodness. You see, when you're channeling for goodness, he's a cog. People think of a cog as a small piece in a giant machine. Yes, cog stands for channel of goodness, child of God. That's who he is. So he mentions Tommy Hopkins. So I'm just letting you know, Tommy Hopkins has been on the podcast.
Yeah. I was on the phone with Tom Hopkins and my dear friend Rita Davenport, who I met through my other dear friend Sharon Lecter, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and all that stuff. And Rita calls me the other day. She's like, "Hey, I got Tommy in the car. He wants to say hi." I'm like, "Hey, what's happening?" So I shared the stage with Tom Hopkins like 30 years ago, something like that, or 25 years ago. But the point is that out of all of these individuals that were studious, were full of degrees, and the list goes on, Brian saw something in me that he said, "Look, rather than sending you through the training right now, let's put you through your own awesomeness so that you can shine, and then we'll go ahead and feed you the training as like you said, like a water fountain, right? We'll just feed you the ingredients." I have a beautiful plant back here, Doria Cordova, who's inspired, and Marie Diamond, both of them inspired me to get the money plant. It's back here. And I've got my no drama, serve others. That's awesome, dude. I need to send you one of these. This is a plaque that I have made, and I just send it to people. And if you want one, man, let me know. I'm happy to send you guys one. But the point is, like, look for opportunities, right? Look for these opportunities. And Brian saw this opportunity and saw a racehorse because he didn't want to pull down the creativity of the individual, right? So it was very, very cool. Thank you for mentioning that. That's my introduction. Let's start. Are we going to hit record? I'm just kidding.
I want to make mention of something very important here. So Erik said to us a date, 1997. It's 28 years ago. I'm happy to tell you, Erik, that 88% of our listening audience worldwide, and it's really worldwide. We touch people in every single continent. We have people in Bhutan that send us information. 88% are under the age of 35. So for them to think 1997 is, I was a baby in diapers, and the genius of life is, what happened with Erik is, I want everybody to understand that will happen with you. Someone will see in you the greatness, the potential, when you let yourself be. You see, one of the geniuses of Erik, awesomeness, Mr. Awesome, is that his PMA was full blown. When you do that, somebody will tap you on the shoulder and saying, "I believe in you." That belief will create that energy that will enable you to shine. Am I correct on that, Erik?
Yeah, without a doubt. Look, it's up to you. Look, there's a saying a long time ago, that saying goes, if it's up to me, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And you should write that down check out the notes. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. And there's another saying that I learned early on, and it's, I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible. Another thing I learned, which is these three things, these three statements have really changed my life. If it's meant to be, if it's up to it, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Yeah. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. I am responsible and I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. I am the best. It's awesome. When you go to your mirror of success, by the way, here's another technique that I teach all my students is go to the mirror, brush your teeth, right? You got to brush your teeth. And I'm brushing my teeth for 60 seconds. Okay. And while I'm doing that, I'm having a conversation with myself mentally and literally out loud, like toothpaste is going everywhere. And I'm like, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. This is going to be great. Today's going to be awesome. I'm the best. I'm going to change lives. I'm going to learn some things. I'm going to surround myself with winners. I'm going to teach and grow and learn and grow all the time today. This is going to be an amazing day. And then what I do after the 60 seconds of
before you say, wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Don't tell us. I want everybody to send in the edge of their seats.
Yeah.
We're going to be right back with Mr. Awesome after this brief break. We have sponsors that love our show. We wouldn't have long. We didn't think they're worthy of your time and attention. And you're going to hear more about your conversation in the mirror in the morning right after this brief message. Don't go away.
Hello, skincare connoisseurs. If you think you have tried everything in skincare, you are going to love what I am about to tell you. I'm pharmacist Benjamin I. Fuchs. I'm a dermatology pharmacist. And what I've discovered in my compounding pharmacy after decades of working with patients with skin traumas and skin diseases is the missing link in skincare is topical essential nutrition. And because of this missing link, we're not maximizing the potential of topical skincare. We're leaving skin beauty and skin health on the table. And that's why I formulated my Truth Treatments. Listen, the skin's an organ. It needs and wants and craves nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, and plant-derived minerals, and now it can get them in super high concentrations in my Truth Treatments. Originally formulated for dermatologists and their patients, now they're available to you. Check them out today at truthtreatments.com, and I know you are going to love the truth.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good looking for me. You're good looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Mr. Awesome, a.k.a. Erik Swanson. He's brushing his teeth in the morning, and he's looking in the mirror. He's having a conversation, and he's about to say to everybody, especially the one who's looking in the mirror right in the eye, we're changing lives today for the better.
That's right.
What else do you say, Erik?
Yeah. So I'm giving myself this pep talk, right? Because let's face it, if you're gonna pump yourself up, I mean, who better to pump yourself up than yourself, right? A lot of people, we look externally rather than internally. You need to look at the inner piece, the inner awesome, that's the inner, oh my gosh, right? The good looking. I love that. I'm going to use that. It's good looking. I'm looking for good. I'm great looking, by the way, because I'm looking for greatness. Okay. And that's what Les Brown taught us as well. So here's the scoop. I go to the mirror of success. I have this conversation with myself, 60-second morning mirror is what I call it. And then at the end of 60 seconds of pumping it up and exciting myself up in the mirror and getting really pumped up, I high-five the mirror. I literally high-five the mirror. Have you ever high-fived a mirror before? Try it. You never fail. Set yourself up for success.
Wait a minute. What you just did, this is so inside baseball. Set yourself up for success. That's a voice. That is somebody's voice, right?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll dissect that. Let me dissect that a little bit.
That's your Rohn voice.
We used to have okay, there you go. Well, my whole company, Habitude Warrior, started because of Jim Rohn. That's a whole nother story if you want to hear.
Okay, we're dropping names, and it's great because everybody needs to know these people.
Yeah.
And I do want to explore Habitude in depth.
Sure. Let me share. Yeah, let me share the success. Okay, let me share that with you.
But when you do the high five on the mirror, I want everybody to understand something. It's not high five and you're 2 inches away from the mirror. It's high five on the mirror. You know why? Because that mirror is not a mirror. It's a high five of that other person. That other person be you. And that's the best you possible. So I want you to leave your palm marks on there. Palm marks on that mirror. The other thing is I'm going to urge everybody to do this, something I've been privileged to publish 4 books in the past 2 years. And in the first book, I talk about get uncomfortable. One of the things I talk about in the get uncomfortable, and you'll love this because this is you, is when you brush your teeth in the morning, brush with your non-dominant hand to get uncomfortable. So if you're righty, brush with your left. You know, it's a little odd, but you do it. And that gives you consciousness because now you're doing something consciously. So now when you're looking in the mirror, oh yeah, whoa, look at that person. Yeah, hello, I love you. More importantly, you, meaning God loves me. Okay, so this is, you do what Erik is telling you, not suggesting. It works.
Quick question. Let me finish my thought on the success. So here's the deal. Most people land their anything, okay? And I'll go back to Jim Rohn a little bit. We land our anything on a downward rather than an upward. You are the ambassador of upward, my friend. And I can tell that. And let me describe what I'm talking about. Anything you're talking about. Like if you're on the phone with a friend and so forth, you're talking for 20, 30 minutes and then you go, okay, goodbye. No, you go, okay, until next time. And you're like, then you hang up, right? I used to have an MC. I do a lot of events, Habitude Warrior events, right? And Speaker Hearts and all these events throughout the world. And we used to have an MC that would introduce people, but on a sort of, and I don't want to say a negative, but it was really positive, but it ended on a downward for their last name rather than an upward. So like, let's say I'm introducing Barry Shore. I want to go, ladies and gentlemen, Barry Shore instead of Barry Shore. Right. Instead of Barry Shore. So you want to end with a positive frequency level going upwards, your frequency of upwards. Okay. I just wrote the book. I've written 33 books now. This one's 13 Steps to Riches. The other ones that I'm going to talk, I'll briefly talk about right now is the book of frequency. And we write about love, gratitude. I know you should be in it, dude. We write about all these different frequency levels. And the best frequency level is love. Love for yourself, for mankind, for womankind, for all kind, right? And it's interesting how set yourself up for success. That is where you want to leave. Let's say you're a coach and you got a whistle and you got a field in front of you and you got 30 kids running around in a soccer field. And you don't want to go get them success. You want to go get them success, right? Success on 3, 1, 2, 3, success, right? That's what you want to do. And that's the same thing you want to do with yourself. Look, when I walk outside of my own home, I use the confetti technique. Confetti technique is really cool. All you do is you walk outside and you walk out of your home. And if your neighbors see you, it's okay. And you go, today's going to be awesome. And you throw confetti and you have confetti in your hair. It's awesome. I do the same thing at Starbucks. I don't even like Starbucks. I don't even drink coffee. I just go there to meet people, to get the endorphins of awesomeness. And that's a frequency level, right? So set yourself up for success by teaching yourself these frequency levels.
So let's unpack a few things because it's so delightful. So you said on an upward note. UP is a fabulous acronym that stands for unlimited potential.
That's right.
That's why we're on the upward piece. And whenever you mention the word frequency, the F word, I think of Bob Proctor, as do you. And that's one of the great things about being involved with people who are out to help others.
That's right.
And one of the things that you mentioned is love. So love is a great acronym that stands for living on vibrant energy, living on the vibrational plane. That's Mr. Awesome. Okay, we're going to shift just a little bit into this interesting word, habitude. Now, I've heard of gratitude. What is habitude, Mr. Erik Awesome?
Awesome. Well, before we do that, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, the ambassador of joy, Barry Shore. Barry, you rock. Okay, back to our program. So here's the scoop. Um, I like making our host laugh and smile. So I was sitting in an event. Actually, I was running around, walking around, and making sure everyone was happy.
I didn't think you'd be sitting in.
Yeah, I wasn't sitting. But this is years ago, 15, 18 years ago, something like that, in Houston, Texas. I was at the Marriott Marquis, downtown Houston, or somewhere, or JW Marriott, something like that. And Brian was on stage. Okay, my main mentor, Brian Tracy, was on stage, and Dennis Waitley had spoken a month before. We had this whole series. It was amazing. And Brian was on stage, and Jim Rohn was in the background. He was waiting to go on stage. Okay. And Jim Rohn, if you know Jim Rohn, well, a lot of you don't, no matter what age you are, a lot of you don't really know Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was an amazing philosopher, amazing man, amazing marketer. I developed my third base theory based on his teachings. And I can share that with you if you want. It's more of a sales technique, but it's marketing and sales. And aren't we all in sales? Brian Tracy used to tell me this. There are two types of people in the world. People who realize they're in sales and people who don't realize they're in sales. Anyway, so here I am. And I'm running around making sure Brian's okay on stage. He's doing great. He's awesome. And this guy, this unassuming gentleman, just he had what I call the tea kettle. Okay, the tea kettle is exactly what you're doing right down, Barry. He's like this, right? Chin. He looks like a tea kettle. Okay, it was an old technique that we used to use. And his elbow was on his one of his knees. His leg was crossed over. He was in the corner. And when I say in the corner, he was like, if you go to a ballroom and you go to one corner and then go to the back, that's where he was. He was literally sitting in the back corner of the room in a little chair, a seminar chair. Okay. Like one of those, upholstery weird chair. Yeah.
Cushy chairs, right?
Yeah. So here he is. And he goes like this. He goes, Erik. And of course, when Jim Rohn, Jim Rohn's one of the greatest. Okay. He's like Dennis Waitley, Bendino, Charlie Tremendous Jones, Bob Proctor, Brian, everyone put together. Okay. Jim Rohn's back there and sitting there. And he goes, Erik, come here. And I said, yes, sir, Mr. Rohn. And can I get you something? What, do you want a cup of coffee or something? He's like, no, I got a question. He's like this. He goes, and he's pointing at Brian on stage. He goes, what do you do? What do you do with him? What do you do with Brian? Because he knew I was running around, walking around and taking care of Brian. He goes, are you his, what do you do? And I said, Mr. Rohn, I'm his best #1 sales guy. I'm the guy. I'm amazing. And I change lives and I help people get to events. And I said events, not events. And he noticed something. And he goes, huh? What do you really want to do? Yeah. Let that sit. Just a moment of silence for a second. I'll repeat it. What do you really want to do? Did you see Barry? Barry's like, that is a question. And those questions come from the greats. And that great is Jim Rohn. And he asked me, what do you really want to do? So I went away. A break happened right then. Brian came off stage. I said, Mr. Rohn, I'll be right back. He said, of course. And I left. I came back. And I was going to talk to Mr. Rohn again and tell him my answer. And then I got scared and I ran away again. And then I came back. I swear I ran away because it's Jim Rohn. Okay. Jim Rohn, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. So I went back finally after the next break and I said, Mr. Rohn, I figured it out. I want to help the world and myself with their habits and their attitudes. Mr. Rohn said, Erik, that's brilliant. You should put that together.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, everybody, please. I am enjoying this moment. I am taking this in and listening to the master speak to the student, because we all know the famous line, right? When the student is ready, the master appears. And when you were able to run away, think about it, come back and express it, and the master was able to say, well, here's what we do.
Yes, sir.
Put them together.
Yes. and Barry, it gets even better than that. Check this out. That's just half the story. The rest of it is.
Oh, wait a minute. And now for the rest of the story.
So Mr. Rohn, Jim Rohn, by the way, Jim and then Rohn, R-O-H-N. Okay. There used to be a sportscaster, Jim Rome, and it's not him. But Jim Rohn, the philosopher, asked me, what do I really want to do? And I came back and he sparked that question mark two mentors, two men, two humans had helped me figure out what I wanted to do. And one was Brian Tracy, when he asked that question, why are some people more successful than others? What habits make them more successful? And the other question was from Jim Rohn. Fast forward, and after I've been working with Brian for 6 years or so, or 8 years, and Jim asked me, what do you really want to do? So I came back, I said, I want to help people with their habits and attitude. He said, you should put that together. So what I did is that night, because action is, look, the universe rewards action takers. So therefore, I put that together. And back then, websites were easier to get, and domain names and so forth. So I secured the domain name, and I put it together. I put Habitude together, which is HABIT, habits, and then attitude. So UDE, Habitude Warrior, HABITUDE. And the next day I fly out to San Diego. I was speaking on a stage over there with Greg Reed, and it was called Secret Knock. I'm one of the speakers, and I'm sitting around. Okay, I got to tell you the caliber of this. I'm sitting around a table. John Assaraf from The Secret is there. Greg Reed is right there. Bob Proctor is right there. Jack Canfield was just walking up to the table where we're sitting, or it was kind of like one of those fireside chat lounge chairs and a table in the middle. And I shared the story about the fact that I was just hanging out with Jim Rohn the day before with Brian Tracy, and this story. I shared the story. John Assaraf, he was sitting next to me over here in a chair, like a leather chair. So he leans over, not taps me, kind of punches me on the shoulder, left side here. And he says, Erik, and he looks at me square in my eyes. Nobody really heard this except he and I. He goes, Erik, if you don't run with that habitude, I'm going to. And this is right before he started his inner size with the brain and all that different things that he does. He's an amazing man, great friend of mine. Hey, by the way, John Assaraf is.
Second, quick pause.
Go ahead.
Quick pause.
Do we have a commercial break?
Greg Reed, John Assaraf, Jack Canfield have all been on the podcast. Okay.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, of course. Everyone has. I mean, come on. Oprah and God. Those are the only two people that you need to get on your podcast.
God has been on.
Oprah's been on? Oh, God has. Okay. Got it. Oprah's tough to get, I heard. I think I know God's son. If you want me to, I can. Yeah, I'll send you.
You're with Greg and look at the name dropping with Greg and John and Jack. Yeah. Okay.
So here we are. We're hanging out, and he punches me and says, "You need to go with that." And I said, "Of course, I'm going to." And that was the genesis, the birth, the inception of the Habitude Warrior, and it's based on your habits and your attitude. And by the way, just a little side note, and you can do whatever you want, podcast listeners and viewers, but what I don't do is I got rid of 3 things out of my life. 3 things, okay? And that's why this right here, no drama, serve others, is very important to me. 3 things out of my life. I got rid of alcohol. I got rid of coffee. I love coffee. I love espresso, but I don't really drink it that much. I drink iced decaf and stuff like that. I got rid of coffee, I got rid of alcohol, and I got rid of negativity. Those are the 3 things. But I got to tell you, the reason why I bring that up is because there are 2 individuals that really had a huge impact on me and my. I wouldn't say the word sobriety, because it's not in my life right now. I wasn't addicted to anything, and blessings if you are, obviously, please seek out those individuals to help you. For me, it wasn't about that. It was about, I had a good time. I had a fun time. I wasn't addicted to anything, but I was like sort of addicted. I'm addicted to success now. But here's what happened. My buddy Greg Reed comes up to me. And if you know Greg Reed, okay, if you actually get to meet him, he's an amazing guy. He's an author like 50 times over, #1 bestselling author in like 17,000 different languages. He's great dude, and a great friend of mine. And he comes up to me. If you ever get to know him and meet him, he'll come up to you and he'll hug you if you know him, and he'll kind of bow his head into your arm. At least that's what he does, because I'm tall. And comes up to me one day in Dallas, Texas. I flew him in and Jack Canfield and a bunch of other people for one of my events. and I think Les Brown was there as well at that event. And Greg comes up to me and says, "Hey, Erik, listen, I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm going to sleep. It's like 11 o'clock." He goes, "I love you, man. You're awesome, but I don't love this guy. I love the guy an hour ago, and I love the guy tomorrow morning. I'll see you tomorrow morning, brother." I said, "Okay." And I didn't know what he meant because I was like, having some martinis. I didn't know what was going on, and sake. And that's what I like, the Japanese sake, right? And long story short, the next morning I was like, oh, he doesn't like hanging out with that guy. He likes hanging out with the guy before who didn't get tipsy. And I wasn't drunk, but I was tipsy, right? He didn't like that guy. So then fast forward about 3 months later, I'm in another event where I flew in John Asraf to speak to my team and myself. And he comes up to me and we'll go out to dinner. Everyone stays, by the way. This is the cool part. I'm so blessed, blessing in disguise. I'm so blessed that whenever I have an event, all of my #1 top tiered, amazing, famous individual friends, they will stay an extra night because they know they want to go out to dinner with me. They want to talk to the 1,000 people in the audience. That's fine. But they want to hang out and have dinner because they know it's going to be a fun time and you get to, really have a good time.
We're going to talk about dinner, about hanging out with
commercial
friends.
Break. Let's go.
Yeah, and if we didn't think they're worthy of your time and attention, we wouldn't have them on. We'll be right back with more awesomeness right after this. Don't go away. Opportunity. What an opportunity. I'm going to use 2 4-letter words right now. Free gift. Free gift. Yes. You can have a copy of my best-selling book, The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy, the ebook version for absolutely free. All you have to do is send an email to me, Barry, Barry, at barryshore.com, and in the heading, the subject line, just write, free gift. It's as easy as that. This is a life-changing, life-enhancing opportunity. Barry at barryshore.com. You'll be glad you did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Free gift. Do it now. Take the action. Make it happen right now. Best wishes. Bye. Good.
And we're back.
Bound to the beloved immortal beings and good looking community. You're good looking. Joe is looking for and finding the good. And in this case, you're great looking because you found the greatness in life. Mr. Awesome is telling us about what it means to be together with A players. I know A player is not just somebody who gets paid a lot of money. It's an A player who is out there helping others, bringing greater habits and enlivening attitudes and adding to the general goodwill of the planet, because we're all here today to shift the energy of the planet into a good space. That's what Mr. Awesome and Erik is all about. That's what he's talking about. When he's talking about these names and these people, it's not that, wow, they get paid a lot of money up the stage and yeah, let's go, let's go. It's about bringing people along and creating that attitude of gratitude and that habit of winning. And it's all brought about by the A word, action. So you're just about to talk about John Asraf, a big A in himself. Well, so he was staying for the next night for dinner and camaraderie, et cetera, et cetera.
That's right. Yes. And the big A is the big awesomeness, right? So here's John Asraf staying an extra night with us, and we went out to dinner, and it was a beautiful dinner. It was great. It was awesome. And I had my team there with me, so there's about 5, 6, 7 of us, something like that. Maybe it was a small group. And he comes up, and we went up to we were waiting for our table, and we were waiting at the bar for a second. And I said, would you like a drink, a margarita or a cocktail or something? Is the day after the event or the night after or something. And he goes, no, iced tea. Iced tea is fine. I go, iced tea, okay, great. And he goes, yeah, I like iced tea, and I don't really drink anymore. And if you know John Asraf's story, he was into drugs and into gangs and into things and drinking, all that out of Montreal, and he changed his whole life. And then his story is amazing. So go look him up. He's amazing. But the thing is, when you're sitting there and you only have yourself, I'm literally standing with John Asraf at the bar. And John Asraf says, no alcohol for me. I'm good. Just iced tea is good. monkey see, monkey do. I started doing that again. I did that with Brian Tracy. I did anything and everything he did. If Brian ordered a salad with raspberry vinaigrette, I had the same thing. If my team leads order anything that I want, my mentors, I want to follow their lead. And so I said, all right, I'll take an iced tea as well. So from then on, John Astroff and Greg Reed and then John Astroff, those are the two individuals who helped me decide that I wanted to open up more businesses rather than open up more martini, bottles of martinis, stuff like that. Yeah. So anyway, side note. Thanks.
In my humble opinion, it wasn't a side note. It was a full note with a complete orchestra.
Thank you.
Because I am of the opinion, because I met so many people over the decades, too many people are attracted to and involved with alcohol, and they don't realize how it changes their life.
Yes.
Not for the benefit, not for the good. Too many people are involved with coffee even, and don't realize that oftentimes it gives them a buzz that creates a dependency.
Yes.
One of the things that we're touching here about attitude and habit is that we want to recognize who we are, make conscious decisions to say, this is who I am and who I will be. I am in charge, not the alcohol, not the coffee, and not the negativity. You mentioned the N-word. Let's talk about the N-word for a while. Too many people, Mr. Austin, too many people are afflicted with a disease. And the disease has a cure. The disease is called negativity. And the cure is not being neutral. The cure is being positive, being purposeful, being powerful, being pleasant. The only name we haven't mentioned so far, we're going to mention right now, is Tony Robbins.
And Dennis Waitley. What's up? Let's talk about Dennis. But wait, let's go back to something. Yeah. There's something called, Barry, something called the sigmoid curve. And what it is this curve, this evaluation of a lot of different things, but really it's all frequency. Everything has frequency. So what you're talking about is, instead of if you're here on an even plane and then you stub your toe and then the coffee's burnt and your wife yells at you and the dog shits on, I'm sorry, it does something, and then you need to bring it up. How much? Well, not just to be the norm, but you need to bring it higher to get to the better plane, the better frequency level. So there's that's interesting that you say that, and I love that. It's the yin and yang. You need to have more yin than yang, or whatever the heck it is. Right? I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, SHARE, by the way, is a wonderful acronym.
I knew it was
for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy.
Excellent. You want to talk about Tony Robbins? I think you said.
Yeah, the only one we didn't mention so far was Tony, and Tony is all about pi. Now, everybody knows pi is an essential number of building block in mathematics and in life. Now, from Tony's point of view, pi stands for pattern interruptus. Interrupting pattern, which is what the beginning of what you do with Habitude. You can't identify your habits and what your attitudes need to be unless and until you interrupt and stop. And as you do, let's say in the morning, hello, I love you. That's me speaking to me. In the morning, giving high fives, even high tens sometimes, and just making sure. So let's finish up on this very high note and go a bit deeper and higher into the whole Habitude process. Give us 3 points that people can say, wow, I need that.
All right, I'll give you 3 points. All of my points are, wow, I need that. And the thing is, how do I say this? I think all of the points are that way. And I keep an even keel, even though I'm pretty motivated. I believe every single point has its validity and integrity in your life. Therefore, all of them are wow. And I don't have to be like, wow, I needed that. Because if you really, wow, you needed that, then you need more help than needed. You know what I mean? Like, so bring up your frequency little by little, step by step, baby steps, and get there. I'll give you 3 points real quick, 3 bite-sized awesomeness that you can use right now. I'll give you 19 if you want, but there's in one of my books, Habitude Warrior, there's 50 in there. I'll give you 3 right now. Number 1 is decide to be awesome. Decide to be awesome. Make the decision to literally be awesome. And you can change the word awesome to anything you want. Decide to be graceful. Decide to be integrity-based. Decide to be addicted to success rather than alcohol. Decide to be serving, no drama, serve others. This is my motto. I have it plaqued everywhere around my homes. Decide to be a difference in the world. Okay. Leave that legacy, like our buddy Dennis Waitley and Jim Rohn and everybody, Bob Proctor. I just wrote a book. It's right here. It's called The Book of Human Empowerment. And it's in the Book of Mentors. And the Book of Mentors I'm honoring 4 people in the Book of Mentors. It's literally a book per each of these legacy legends, really. Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor, Wayne Dyer, and Zig Ziglar. Those are the 4. And live that legacy by helping people right now. People ask me, so I have 3 dogs right now, and I have 3 dogs. I have 30 mountain bikes. Anyway, people think I'm crazy. And then they asked me, why do you have that? And I said, well, life is living now. That's why. Literally, life is living right now. So why not make yourself happy now rather than 50 years from now, right? Do it now. So the question that you asked me were what are 3 great things that you can share? Number 1 is decide to be awesome. Right. Decide to be awesome, right? Make the decision to be awesome every day. Right? Stop being the guy or the girl who complains about things and always calls people to complain. Call them to not complain. Okay. And that's the second point. Here it is. I use the what the heck calls. Okay. What the heck calls. I make 30 what the heck calls every day. 30 either phone calls and or text messages. And it goes a little bit like this. It's just text them, like Barry. If you look at your text message right now, like I know you're on a podcast with me right now, but if you look, I'm multitasking, and I just said no drama, serve others. I just sent that to you, and then I said I'm great looking, Barry, and these are just little remarks that I'm sending to people, and I'll send these things to people all over. I go through my Rolodex.
By the way, everybody, I just need to say I just got my text message from Erik. I'm great looking.
That's right. And I'll tell you what typically happens, Barry. And this happened last night. I was out. I was at dinner. I cooked dinner actually for some of my neighbors here in the. I'm in like 8,000 feet elevation right now in the mountains in Utah. And I have a few neighbors around, and I invited them over to have some lamb chops on my grill. So they came over, and one of them works for the U.S. Ski Team Association. And I said, hey, let's call my buddy, 4-time Olympian in the luge, Ruben Gonzalez, great friend of mine. And they're like, what? You know Ruben? I go, yeah. She goes, oh my God, I've only met him through the association. I've seen his name on the paperwork and coming through the snowboard and luge and ski association. I said, well, let's call him. So we had a 20-minute phone call conversation with him. Now, the point I'm trying to make is this. She was floored. She loved it, right? And they're connected now. But the thing is, I've created my life in such a way, and now hopefully I'm not jinxing this, but I've created my life in such a way that I make these what the heck calls. The what the heck call has no agenda. It is, well, I take that back. The only agenda I have is to make the other end, the person on the other end feel great. That's my agenda. It's the what the heck calls. And what happens is people start answering my phone calls more often because they're like, oh my God, like one of my dear friends, Frank Shankwitz, the founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like, he would always say this. He goes, when Erik calls, I answer, like E.F. Hutton. And that's the thing is whenever I call someone, they'll answer the phone. How many people do you know that wouldn't answer and they can hit the decline button because they're like, oh, they're looking for something. They're looking for something from me, even though I don't want to.
Pause for a moment because I want to go to number 3. This is what Bob Proctor has so eloquently described as willingly giving.
Yeah, they're willing.
Yeah. Most people do giving in order to receive.
Right.
Bob would talk to me and teach me willingly giving.
Yeah.
I'm here to serve.
That's
no
right.
drama, service only. Okay, number 3. So we got decision, what the heck calls, and number 3.
Yeah, what the heck calls, by the way. Let's go back to that. I just want to make sure that everyone knows this. The what the heck calls, do it consistently. Like I'll literally make, start with 5 calls in the morning, or maybe 5 text messages. Hey, just thinking. Here's another one I send a lot of people. Hey, I was just thinking about you last night, and thought I'd reach out to you today, and I hope you have a great day. Rock and roll. That's it. It's just a what the heck calls or a text. Okay. So send those out and start sending them out to different people, and you'll start seeing people. Then you've got this army of goodness with you. Right. And then if you ever have to leash, send out your line and say, I need some help. People will be like, I'm there for you. I'm there for you. I'm there for you. Right. Because they always feel good. It's called a trigger. Right. Tony Robbins used to talk about this years ago. The trigger is the Pavlov's dog trigger, where the phone rings and they see my name and endorphins hit their whole frequency of their body, and it's a feel
awesome.
Yeah. And then they're like, I better answer the call. I want to feel awesome. And he's on the phone and I want to answer it. That's the whole thing with the what the heck call. Now, the third thing I'll share with you, let me see. I'll dig into my stash of awesomeness. I'll talk about, okay, it's a twofold. The first one I'm not really going to talk about too much because everyone else does. Surround yourself with winners. Stop surrounding yourself with the losers, the people like I call them CBCs now, and that's an acronym. And I'm not even going to tell you what it stands for, but one's cheap and one's client and one's anyway. So stop. Yeah, don't even figure it out. It's negative. But stop hanging out with the people who are bottom. They're trying to just get things from you.
Remember, there's only 2 kinds of people in the world: fountain or drain.
Okay, fantastic.
Choose to be and be with fountains.
Fountains. All right, rock and roll. So the point is, surround yourself with the winners and seek out those winners, right? Seek them out. Like, look, how many books are you? I read books. I buy so many books. I go to Barnes & Noble. I'm in Barnes & Noble, for gosh sakes. And I buy books. Like, look, I assembled this book alone. I assembled, I don't know, there's 13 top name celebrities: Michael Gerber, Brian Tracy, let's see, Sharon Rector, Dennis Waitley before he just passed just recently. Myself, Laura Langmeyer, Michael Gerber, I just mentioned him, Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, Doria Cordova. Surround yourself with the winners. All these people are my close friends. And that's why I put them in my book. Right. So find yourself these awesomeness, but that's not even the point I want to share with you. I want to share the fact of lead with a confidence of a compliment. Okay. Whatever you do, if you're walking your dog and someone, yells at you, or if you're going into the grocery store and somebody cuts you off or runs into you with your, whatever it is, lead with a confidence. I will always do this. Even if the lady runs into me, let's say, and my cart goes flying, I'm going to go, I love your glasses. Sorry, that sucked what we just did there. But wow, those are cool rims. I like do they make those? Is that prescription? And they're like, it's a pattern interrupt, obviously, but also it's a feel good. So I always lead with something that I can say, wow, I confidently compliment you on this, and I'm confident that you're going to love it too.
Wonderful, Mr. Awesome. I'm loath to say the words I'm about to say. We're coming to a close in our time together. However, I have 3 quick questions for you, Erik. By the way, I created an acronym for your name during one of the breaks. Would you like to hear it?
Maybe. Depends on if I like it or not.
Would you like to hear it? Then you'll decide if you want it.
Tell me 2 of them.
So Erik is spelled E-R-I-K. Erik stands for energetic resilience inspires kindness.
I love it. Let's go with it.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Thank you, sir.
I love acronyms.
Appreciate it.
3 quick questions, Mr. Awesome.
Yeah, let's go. I reserve the right to add the 5th Amendment if I don't want to answer one of them. Go.
Okay. Number 1, will you come back again?
Of course. Answer is always yes. Time out. Everyone write this down when you're done with this podcast. The answer is always yes. You want to say that to yourself in the mirror? You want to say that to your spouse, your friends, your colleagues, everybody. All right. If you trust them and you like them and you love them, answer is always yes. Yes, I'd love to come back.
Thank you. Number 2, Mr. Awesome, you have only 80 seconds to answer this question. What is your most fervent desire?
Let's see. My desire is to live the life that I'm already living and help other people realize they can live the same way.
That's beautiful. We call that hope, helping others progress every day.
I call it my daily activity.
Wow, which stands for words of wisdom, words of wonder. And number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 527,917 people around the world. Let me tell you what hug stands for. Ready?
Go to the first answer I said. What was my first answer?
Okay, so yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so hug stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. Awesome. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man.
Remember, you're listening to The Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shaw, the ambassador of joy, and our amazing guest, our awesome guest, Mr. Awesome himself, Erik Swanson. Remember, this show is not about Erik, no matter great guy that he is, or about Barry Shaw, fabulous show. It's about you. Y-O-U, you being the best you, because when you are the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. And remember, we're here for the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1, your life has purpose. When you lead a purpose-driven life, you go mad. Mad stands for make a difference, like Mr. Awesome. And number 3, to uncover the power and the secrets of every words and terms. And the result is to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Learn to use smiles, seeing miracles in life every day. As my 8-year-old niece says, seeing miracles every day. Like, create the kind of world that you want to live in, causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. You learned a lot about that today. And remember to use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day from now and the rest of your life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To harmonize and nurture kindness, use 4-letter words, especially the FU word. Live, life, hope, play, pray, swim, free, gift, and tell the world to FU, F-U, capital N, capital M, N-D-S-O, no drama, serve others. And when you do that, you will experience the greatest of all miracles, and that is being alive now, as Erik said to us. So a blessing from Erik and Barry. Go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Erik, don't go away.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.